to our March cooking demo. We are doing a series right now. Our quarter 1 series are easy weeknight meals. I'm going to take down my slide real quick. I'm going to spotlight my video so it should stay on me. If you guys will make sure that you are on mute, that would be great. Okay. Justin okay. Hey guys. Hey Nicholas. Hey Justin. Would you guys actually mind taking your camera off? That way I can see myself because I just see you guys. If your screens are on and I can't tell if you can see what I'm seeing.
You might be able to click on yourself, like on your own video. I'm not quite sure how Teams works for everyone's.
I'm clicking. It's not letting me pin.
Okay, yeah, never mind then.
Okay, sorry. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I hate to ask. Okay, so if everyone, Justin, are you okay with taking off your camera? So it's not
Oops, thought I
spotlighting you.
did. Yep, no
Thank
problem.
you. Thank you so much. Okay, all right. So, hey everyone, welcome to our quarter 1 cooking demo, our March cooking demo. We are doing a 1-pot enchilada skillet. I'm going to talk about the ingredients that I have here today. If you hopped on early, you just heard me talk about this. So you're going to hear it one more time. All right, so it's going to depend on what grocery store you go to, right? I have here my lean ground turkey. It is 93% lean, 7% fat. HEB is the grocery store that we go to here. It's the main one. Sometimes I go to Trader Joe, so it really just depends where your guys are at. I have my HEB tortillas. These are freshly made at HEB, so they taste really great. Fresh or the next day. Minimally processed ingredients. And then I have my zucchini, my red bell pepper, my enchilada sauce. I have cilantro, my goat cheese, and my red onion, garlic, and green onion. So a lot here, and I have some seasoning back behind me that we're going to use a little bit later. So I see someone's hand is up.
I was just asking if it's being recorded, and someone replied, so I'm good.
Oh, okay. Yes, it's being recorded, so you guys can always refer back to this. Okay.
And is the recipe in the chat somewhere? It's not in the invite, right? We find it out on the Slack channel.
Right. I will put it in the chat at the end of this. Usually, I could put it at the very beginning, but then when people hop on later, they won't see it. It just won't show up in their chat. So at the end of this, I will put in the link to the drive with this, all the ingredients and everything.
Thank you.
Yes. And it will be in Slack too as well, and the recording. All right, so the next thing is that this recipe is really going to depend on what enchilada sauce that you use. This is the one that I get from HEB. It's HEB red enchilada sauce. Sometimes I get the one from that Skillet brand because I do Thrive Market occasionally, and I really like that sauce. So I switch off between this one or the Skillet brand that I have. My husband doesn't like spice, and my son that's 1.5 years, he doesn't do spice. So I always try to find something that's more mild, but you can change that up depending if you like spice or not. And then I also wanted to add about the tortillas. If you are gluten-free, you don't have to use tortillas, or you can find gluten-free tortillas to use. Yeah, it's a brand has some. The red bell pepper, you want to get a large red bell pepper, and you also want to have a large red onion. This onion that I got from curbside, I pick up my groceries. It's smaller, so I'm going to use the whole thing. I have my my zucchini here. You need about 2 cups. I never know what size they're going to give me when I do curbside, so we got 2. And then I have my garlic over here. I got it ready to use instead of having to peel it just to make this faster. And then I have my cilantro, and I have my goat cheese. Goat cheese is my favorite. If you're dairy-free, you do not have to use cheese. Or maybe you can find a dairy-free option that you actually really like. All right, so we're going to get started with some chopping. You want to, if you're doing this recipe, you want to chop and get everything ready now instead of doing it while you're multitasking, because it goes so fast. So I have made that mistake before, to where my meat ends up cooking longer than it needs to, because I didn't chop up everything that I needed to. All right. Someone had a question. I think it was Jill.
Yeah, just really quickly. I'm sorry, not having the recipe in front of me. Does it say corn tortillas versus flour, or is it just personal preference?
Personal preference.
Okay.
Yes, I have regular whole wheat tortillas, but you guys can use whatever you want. You make it to where it works best for you. Okay, I'm going to grate my garlic real quick. I am pulling up. I need to make sure I have my instructions up so I don't mess up in front of you guys. All right, so our garlic, we need about 1 TSP of garlic. I'm going to grate it on here. It's my favorite way. Mince it or grate it. Then we're going to chop up our green onion, red bell pepper, and zucchini. All right. My garlic ready. I'm going to chop up my red onion next. And I'm going to put that all in one bowl. Now, again, this calls for half of an onion, but this onion's really small, so I'm probably going to use the whole thing. And hopefully this doesn't make me cry in front of you guys. We're going to put the onion and the garlic in the pan with olive oil. I'm sorry, with avocado oil. You can really chop up this onion, make it as tiny as you want. For an enchilada skillet, it doesn't have to be extremely tiny. Okay, now I'm going to cut up my zucchini. I'm going to do little cubes. So cutting off my end, I'm going to go down long ways and cut this into fourths. And then I'm going to grab all of it and chop it into little cubes. So we're going to put, after we have done the onion and the garlic in the pan for a little bit, that's when we add in our turkey. That's when we add in all the other vegetables at once. Again, that's why we want to cook it chop up all of it before we get started. So it's really just the chopping that takes time, but it's not long. If I know I'm using a spicy enchilada sauce, and I know my son, who's 1.5 years, can't eat it, before I add in the enchilada sauce, I take some of these ingredients and I set them to the side, like the zucchini and the bell pepper and just the ground turkey without the sauce, and he'll eat that. So if you have any picky eaters too, and they don't want the enchilada sauce, they don't want the spice, that's also an option. Okay. So after we do the bell pepper, we're going to cut up these tortillas into strips. And that's one piece that I always forget to do. That's why you want to get all your ingredients out ASAP, because then the recipe is going to tell you, okay, now time to put in this, and now time to put in this, and you're just behind. So again, chop it up all. Very beautiful. So for my tortillas, I'm going to take my scissors to chop them. I'm going to take 2 at a time, and we're just making long strips. And whenever we put this in the pan, you want to make sure that they're separated. I'm doing 2 at a time, because you don't want them to stick together when you're in the pan, so make sure you separate them before you're putting them in. We're going to do our cilantro after this. And I have a cool trick to show you guys if you don't want to use the stems for the cilantro. Okay, I've already done some of the cilantro already. I learned this tool recently. Say instead of chopping up all the other ends, what you can do is you take a colander and you're going to stick one stem in through one hole, and then you're going to pull, and it's going to take off the leaves. You can see. So I'm going to do a couple more of these. I love cilantro. If you do not like cilantro, you don't have to add it. Some people think it tastes like soap. So if it tastes like soap to you, you don't want your food to taste like soap. So don't even add it if you're not into it. Good. Sometimes there's like one leaf, but that's it. Okay, so you guys can see I have a ton of cilantro in here. That's ready to go. Okay, green onion. I'm just going to chop up a little bit of this, and then we're going to be ready to go. And I'm going to move the camera. You guys are going to come with me over to the stove, and we're going to cook it in there. You want about 1/4 cup of green onion. All right. Okay, I'm going to rinse off my hands real quick. Hopefully I have everything. Okay, moving you guys. We're going by the stove now, because we're going to pretty much be here the rest of the time. Okay. I also have some other seasonings with me. Cumin, paprika, and say you do this a couple of times, you'll learn how much you want to add, because again, it depends on what enchilada sauce you get. So if it's bland, you add more. If it's not bland, you don't need to add any more. All right, so we're going to add some avocado oil. I'm going to do about 1 tablespoon. I'll add more if I need. I'm going to start this off at a low heat, and then I'm going to increase it. Once the oil is warm, we're going to add the garlic and the onion. And we're going to stir that around for a little bit until the garlic becomes fragrant. Then we're going to add the turkey, let that brown, and then we're going to add in all the other ingredients. So again, it's going to go by pretty fast. Okay, I'm going to let that heat up. I'm going to grab my onion. I'm going to grab a regular spatula for now so I can move this oil around a little bit. Okay, I'm going to add my onion and garlic. All right, so we're going to mix this around a little bit. It's still, I'm going to increase the heat, get it going a little bit faster. Separating all the onion chunks from each other. Okay. I'm going to grab my ground turkey. Get this one ready to go. Grab all my other ingredients, bring them over. If you can clean while you cook, do it. You're waiting. All right, I'm going to bring my other seasonings over here. Red pepper flakes is on the list, but again, I don't do that. Again, we don't do a whole lot of spice here, but that is an option. Well, most of you guys are on, and while this is heating up, I think I'm actually going to insert the link for that. So on our drive, we have a folder called Cooking Demos. And you guys can always find previous ones on there. And I put this one in a quarter one folder. Okay, I'm gonna check the chat too while you guys are. I'm gonna read some of these chats while we're waiting. Yeah, that's cilantro one. And parsley, yeah. Someone asked, what brand of enchilada sauce? I have the HEB brand, but I really like the Skillet brand that I get from Thrive Market. Not every grocery store has it. Whole Foods has it. That's another one, another grocery store here. I haven't found one at Trader Joe's yet that I like, but I've used this recipe so many times. I've tried so many different enchilada sauces. So. All right, so this is now fragrant. I'm gonna add now my ground turkey. I'm gonna chop that up really well. I'm probably gonna have to switch spatulas. Oh, this is actually really soft, so it probably won't be a problem. Often I'll use a wooden spoon. I think that's actually what I'm gonna do. I need something a little bit harder to break up this turkey. We're going to try to break up the ground turkey as best as you can. You can also use chicken, ground chicken, if you don't want to use turkey. That's an option. Again, just making it where it works for you. All right, I'm going to let this sit a little bit. We need it to brown. It's going to take probably about 5 minutes to brown in total. Okay. So next, use my camera, guys. We're going to add the seasonings while we're letting this cook. So again, it's just going to depend on if you like spice or not. I'm not going to add any more pepper. I'm going to add some salt. I'm going to add some cumin and paprika. That's probably it. But on the list I sent you, that's in the chat of the ingredients, there's a few other things as well. Oh, I have new cumin. I got to open this one up. We use a lot of cumin in this house. And again, the sauce that I'm using is medium. Mild is non-spicy, the least spiciest, I should say. Then it's medium, and then it's hot. So I try to find milds when I can, but use what you prefer. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of paprika. Chili powder, depending on what brand you use, it can be really hot. So I think the McCormick brand is not hot. But just be careful depending on what brand you buy. Keep that in mind. All right. We have a little bit longer on here. I'm going to bring up this temp a little bit more. Since I'm using such a big pan, I think it just needs a little bit more heat.
So quick question for you, just looking at the recipe, it talks about adding a 1/4 cup of shredded cheese, but the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of crumbled goat cheese. So do you,
Oh, yeah.
is
I think that's just
everybody,
because I use goat cheese. So that's what I put in the list of ingredients, but you use whatever you want.
so you could use or cheddar cheese or any kind of
Oh,
cheese,
yeah.
right?
Mexican cheese would probably be great.
Okay.
I just love the taste of goat cheese, so I just use that a lot. Goat cheese is going to be more expensive though, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, you guys can
Thank
use
you.
whatever cheese you want, or no cheese if you're dairy free. If you guys have other questions, you can definitely come off mute, ask, you know, as we're here waiting for this to brown. We probably have
Shannon,
about
there's a question in the chat asking if you can use a different oil as a substitute for the avocado oil.
definitely. I would use extra virgin olive oil if you want to substitute. That's really the best one if you're trying to be healthy. But if there's another reasoning for using, you know, you have your reason for using whatever oil you want to, you can use that definitely. Really just helps your onion, your garlic, to not burn on the pan. And we want a healthy amount of fat in our diet. That's healthy fat. Healthy amount of healthy fats in our diet. Okay, this is almost done. So we're about to add in, I just have a little bit more pink. We're about to add in all of our ingredients. Not tortilla strips yet, but we're going to do half a jar of the enchilada sauce. We're going to do all the zucchini, the bell pepper, the onion. I have more zucchini, I think, than was called for, but the more veggies, the better, honestly. We all need more veggies in our diet. One reason why this is so healthy. We got our lean ground turkey or chicken you can use. We got our veggies.
So here's a funny question. Even though you pull all the stems for the cilantro through, do you chop your cilantro further after you get done? Okay.
Yeah, I don't. You totally can if you want it smaller. You know, maybe you're trying to sneak in the cilantro so your spouse or your kids don't see it. The smaller it is, the less they'll be able to tell instead of seeing like that full leaf. Okay, I'm gonna get my enchilada sauce. We're only gonna do half right now. Another tip, open the jar before you start cooking. That way, if your hands are wet, you don't have to struggle with opening it. The other night, I was by myself making dinner with my son, and I couldn't open this jar even after drying my hands. And I had to go to my neighbors and ask them if they could open the jar of enchilada sauce I was using. It wasn't this recipe, it was a different enchilada recipe. I just love Tex-Mex. I guess that's just what I cook a lot here. Okay. All right, so let me check. I'm gonna put in half of the cilantro for now. The other half comes at the very end. sometimes the cilantro is just for visual, like it's just appeasing visually. So that's why we add some at the very end. But you can adjust how much cilantro you use. And then let me add in, let's see, I'm going to add in just some goat cheese, not all of it as well. So I'm using this crumbled goat cheese. I've used this before for a recipe from HEB. Again, the goat cheese is going to be a little bit more expensive than just your shredded Mexican cheese, but if you don't want to use goat cheese, that's what I would use, just shredded Mexican. Okay, I'll stir that in. Okay. After we have this nice and stirred in, we're going to pour in the remaining sauce. And then we are going to get the rest of the ingredients in there, and then we're going to cover, and it's going to simmer. Checking my time. We're almost out of time. All right, remaining enchilada sauce is in. Okay, I'm going to put my tortillas in. And you know how we talked about make sure you separate them before you put them in because they'll cling to each other, especially with the moisture from the enchilada sauce. Whenever you're putting in, separate it. I think I'm going to stir around some of this first before I add any more. And again, if you are gluten-free, you don't have to add tortillas, or you can add in gluten-free tortillas. Or if you don't want any of it, you don't have to, Okay. Stirring tortilla chips. And let's see, I think we're going to cover it for 10 minutes and it's going to be on low, medium heat. All right. I'm going to show you guys a picture of this. I'm going to take the camera over so you guys can see. This is what it's looking like right now. I can't even see my camera right now. Hold on. I know you guys can see, but there we go. Okay, so I'm going to cover this real quick. I'm going to turn down the heat. Low, medium, and it's going to set for about 10 minutes. Okay. Where's my Alexa? Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. All right, so that is going to simmer, and then we'll take it out and we'll be ready to go. Then we're going to add some green onion. Nicholas, I like your comment about having a Slack channel for healthy recipes to share. I'm actually going to share the ones that we have done in the past because we've been doing this for years now. So we have a big chunk that you guys can use anytime. So maybe you guys have lost it.
Isn't the Slack channel Healthy Eats, is that part of this? Or is that different?
Well, Healthy Eats is a program that Jenny is leading. It is separate, but that is a great resource to use.
Okay. I agree. The Slack channel sharing the recipes would be awesome.
So the link I just put in, that contains all the recipes we've ever done. And again, we've been doing it for years now. So you guys will find anything from My favorite enchilada soup is in here. One pot Cajun chicken pasta. I've done that one before. That one was amazing. I did perfect bars. If you guys know what a perfect bar is, that's just the brand. It's called the Perfect Bar. I did like copycat homemade ones that are protein bars. What else is in here? We have like Mediterranean burgers. Jenny did a popsicle one year. I think it was last summer. Grilled pineapple chicken kebabs. I mean, there's so many in here that you guys would probably really enjoy. I mean, they're our favorite recipes. So that's basically what I like to stick to. One year I did these street corn chicken tacos, and when I tell you the flavor is amazing, it is amazing. So check that one out. We also did the holiday series this past winter. So we had something special happening. We had something happening during like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and we made recipes for that. And you guys got to vote on what it was going to be. We gave you guys options. All right, I'm just going to check with Alexa to see how much time we have left. Alexa, how much time left on the timer? Okay, we still have some time. If anyone needs to hop off because you have a meeting, you can totally hop off. I'm going to post a picture of what this looks like at the very end. But if you can stay on, stay on. Feta crusted roast cauliflower that turned out amazing. I like cauliflower. My son likes cauliflower, so I like to use it. Alexa is my assistant. She just told me she doesn't have an answer for that. Okay, I'm just going through the chat to make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, so what's this link about? Is this for opening a can? Seniors arthritis hands code. I have to click this to find out what this is.
Oh yeah, there are two links. One was for opening jars, and then mine was for opening cans.
Amazing. I'm so glad you guys shared this with me.
My daughter bought it for me because my hands are slippery ever since COVID, and I started using hand sanitizers. I don't have any grip anymore, it seems like. So she bought that for me, and I use it all the time.
I love it. Thank you. Or smack on the bottle like a snap. I've seen people take the jars and just hit it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna break it. Use a knife as a lever. Scares me, y'all. You guys scare me. But I'm sure it works. I'm sure it works. Yeah, so I'm back to what we were talking about, like different spices. I like how Brooke added in that one for smoked paprika that she found that she really likes. I don't use avocado all the time. I think it just helps also with the flavor a little bit with this recipe. But if you're trying to stick to healthy fats, right, the ones that you want to use the most of the time are the virgin olive oils, the extra virgin. So then the next level down is just virgin olive oil. And I think avocados in that area as well. And then the ones you really want to avoid are like sunflower oil and a couple others. Alexa, how much time left on the timer? Okay, we have 4 minutes. 4 minutes. When 4 minutes is done, we're going to add more cheese on top. We're going to add more cilantro, the green onion, and it's going to be ready to go. What I did not use today, red pepper flakes. I added in paprika, and this is McCormick. I use pink salt pink Himalayan salt. That's what I used in here. I did not add any more ground pepper. I didn't need any more spice. Cumin, I added in. We love cumin here. Chili powder, I did not add in. McCormick, not so spicy. Other brands can be spicy. Let's see. What else can we review? It's also minimal cleanup, right? Because it is that one pan. So all I have to clean after this is, I mean, what you see in front of you. The colander, you really just have to rinse out. The utensils, the cutting board, and the pan. That's really it. I mean, compared to other recipes that you guys probably make and that I make, I mean, this is minimal. So the less dishes, the better. I come home some nights and I don't even, like, I'll cook dinner and then the dishes are just in the sink because I'm just done. But in the morning when I wake up, I can clean it. That's fine. I wake up in the morning, I feel 100%. But yeah, minimal is great. Minimal cleanup. Yeah, coconut oil is a great alternative for, say, when you're baking and you don't want to use butter because of like dairy option, because you can't have dairy or something. Coconut oil's used. Beth, you should totally make this. They will be amazed. So Kimber, I don't know if you heard this when I think I said this at the very beginning, but I don't know, maybe you've made this recipe before because this is from Rachel Good Eats. This is her recipe that went viral.
Oh, yes, I think I have made this before, but I'm dairy and gluten free, so then I do all your substitutions you're talking about.
There you go.
And it's still so good.
Mm-hmm. Really good. Alexa, how much time left on the timer? She didn't hear me. Alexa, how much time left on the timer? 1 minute and 20 seconds. We're almost there, guys. Hang in there with me. So you guys can see the final product. But again, I understand if you have to go. Yeah, Mexican food we have here a lot. Tex-Mex. We make regular enchiladas. We always try to have the veggies, the protein, and healthy carbs, right? Again, I'm just using regular tortillas. You can sub it for whole wheat tortillas. You can sub it for, or take that out. You can also do a side salad on the side if you want to get more veggies in, if that's a goal that you have, where you're just trying to add in more and more veggies, you can do a side salad. If you wanted to do rice on the side, you can. Brown rice, that's a healthy carb that you can add. If you're trying to get even more protein in and healthy, carbs, you can do beans and rice on the side. That's great. And again, that is so easy to do. I mean, it's just something on the stove. Easy to make, right? You're just adding water. Alexa, how much time left on the timer? She didn't hear me. It'll probably be about, oh, there it goes. All right, I'm going to turn off my heat. Alexa, timer off. All right, removing it from the heat. I'm just going to put this in the sink. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to add, oh, I missed a few tortillas. We're going to add the rest of this cilantro. We're going to add a little bit more cheese, the green onion. And then we'll have our final product. So again, this one prep time, so minimal. It cooks for about 20 minutes. I wish I was a food photographer. I'm not, guys. All right. this is our final product. And I promise you, it is amazing. Really, really good. So I hope you guys make this. If you do, can you please take a photo of it? Beth, I'm holding you to it. If you make it, you got to post a picture in the Slack channel under CubeFit. And we would love to see it. If you guys make it, please post it in there so we can see. Next quarter, this is the end of the first quarter, Jenny is leading the second quarter, and she is doing protein pack meals. So that's what the series is going to be about. So be on the lookout for that. And, oh, that's funny, Mark. Be on the lookout for that, and I hope you guys see it. If you guys are trying to, increase muscle mass, just trying to eat healthier, you'll learn a whole lot from joining that series as well. Just, if you have those goals to increase your protein. But yeah, so thanks so much for tuning in. I'm going to end this recording. If you guys need anything, please feel free to reach out, and I will see you guys. I'll be hopping in to watch the next quarter with Jenny.